Welcome to art school.
Hello everyone, this is Wayne Carnegie coming to you another tutorial, a bite-sized tutorial series, how to create tileable textures in Substance Painter. Tileable textures, also called seamless textures, are 2D images designed to repeat infinitely across surface without showing any visible seams or edge. First thing I want you to do, I want you to go to File, Open Sample Project. I want you to choose Tile and Material and press Open. Next thing I want you to do, I want you to go to File and Save As. And I'm just going to call this Tileable Textures. Next thing I want you to do, I want you to select everything over here and just delete them. I want you to click on this bucket icon, and I want you to just give it a color, darker gray, and I want you to just name this base. Very next thing I want you to do, I want you to click on the bucket again, and in this case, I want to call this, just leave it as is, but this I wanted to turn off color, and I want you to turn on height, because we're going to be making some kind of tile brick pattern. We're going to create some kind of brick texture. So, something like this. Okay, keep that in mind. Good. Always have something to aim for when you're texturing. Okay, so now that out of the way, I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a fill. In this fill, I'm going to choose brick, type in brick, and I'm going to go and get a brick. Let's put her cursor here. Sometimes it should take a long time to display. There we go. We're going to pick this one. Okay, great. All right. The next thing I want you to do, no, I think I did it wrong. So I want you to right click on the fill, create a black mask first. In the black mask, I want you to create a fill with the fill selected. Then I want you to get the brick 1-1, and I want you to go back here and kind of give this, actually go back to the mask, and I want you to change here to mask and click on the brick. And I also want you to click invert, kind of like so. Okay, great. So we're doing good so far. Excellent. Okay, I want to take this, grab it, and just push it over a little bit here just to create more space. I want to go and I want to select the 2D and 3D mode because I want you to see in here as well as in the 3D viewport here. Okay, cool. Select the brick, and you could go into properties here if you want. Go into the properties, you could say number in X, or you could really bring down that number. Up to you. I'm gonna leave it at default. Okay, cool. But you could go overkill if you want in here. Up to you. Okay, you could do as much as possible if you want. Okay, great. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna right click on the mask and I'm gonna add anchor point. I'm gonna explain a little bit more about anchor point, but for now, just go ahead and add it, and then it will all make sense in the end. So just right click on the mask, add anchor point. Okay, great. The anchor point, you can name it. You could call it brick mass anchor point. Okay, you can name it here and you can rename it here. Okay, cool. Great. Great. So inside here, we're gonna right click and we're gonna add a let's see, a filter. And inside here, we're gonna choose blur. Okay, give me a second. Blur slope. So what this blur slope does, I'm gonna drag it beneath the anchor point here. What this blur slope does is exactly what you think it needs to do. And then you could play around with the intensity of it if you want. So up to you. I think I'm gonna go about here. Cool. Quality. And I think I'm gonna go about here like that. Cool. Kind of like have a damaged edges around the brick. So under parameters, I want you to choose custom noise. And you could 1 second, custom noise here. You can just search for like some kind of grunge in here. I'm middle mouse button scrolling, by the way. Okay, something like that. How about that? Okay, and then you could like, you know, just middle mouse button zoom in, and then we got something going on there. Nothing more than that. Again, you could go back and I could add another filter and another slope blur, drag it, drop it underneath here, open up the parameters, make sure they're open up, default noise, you want custom, get something else, scroll down in here, let's say, okay, pick something like that, cool. You can play around with let's see, like that, and then you can play around with the intensity, kind of like so, like that. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, cool. Save your scene. Excellent. So now we can just call this mask. Okay, great. Okay. All right, cool. Now we're going to create a new fill. Actually, I'm going to delete this fill. Create a folder and call it bricks. Okay. And then we're going to create a, here's what we're going to do. We're going to right click, create a black mask. And then we're going to add a fill. And then in the fill, I'm going to scroll up. And I think for the fill here, click here and then choose the anchor point that we created for it. Okay, cool. Now I think I need to go back here and I need to play around with the height of here, see what's truly going on. Maybe if I turn on color, you'll see something. You'll see kind of like something going on there. Cool. All right, cool. All right, great. So that's another way how to use the anchor point. Okay. So first thing first, I'm gonna create the base. And I'm gonna just give us a color. I'm gonna go for some kind of, you know, some kind of blue brick. Like that. Okay, cool. Great. Excellent. So you see the inside grout here? We can change that soon. There's the base. That's this guy under here. Alright. Okay, cool. Alright, excellent. We're doing good. Oops. We're doing good. Save your scene. So let's add some color variation. So I'm going to add another fill here. So I'm going to call this color base 01. And this is color variation 1. Okay. I'm going to just right click on it, add a fill. No, not that. I'm gonna right click on it, add a black mask, right click in here, add a fill, go in the fill. I'm gonna delete the word brick that I wrote before. I'm gonna go in here and get this one here and see what we got. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna use this. Let me just change it from this. I'll pick something else. Something like that. And I could give it a color. You know, could also just make it more. Then you could like play around with the tiling. Nope, no, not this. This. Could play around with the tiling. Could play around with the rotation if you want. And you could play around with the opacity. How much do you want it there? Okay, cool. All right, very nice. I'm gonna press M here. Wow, look at that. I'm gonna press M and I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna go File and Save. And then this is wild. It's because we're using that template there. So I'm gonna go back to the select keys, this, choose height. And then we could just simply go in here and knock this back. Way back. So it depends on how we want the grout. We want the grout to be this way or that way. So I think we want the grout to be like that. Cool. All right. Cool. Very good. Now you could decide to switch back to base color. And then you can save your scene. So we could create another fill layer and we're going to call these dots. And we're going to right click, create a black mask for it. I'm going to turn on height. Okay. And we're going to click on this and we're going to just play around with the height here. Click on here, right click, add a fill. And while we're here, we're going to get dots, the typing dots. And here we go. We got some dots here. Like that. See that? I love what I'm seeing. Now you can go back to here and you can just say, hey, the height. You could play around with the height to get something. That's great. Give them a turn off the color just to see what's going on there. All right. You could even go up with the scale. No, not this one. You could click on the pebbles here and play around with the scale of it. See that? See that? Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. And there's tons more things you could do with this thing. Okay. Could do tons more things. Okay. Okay. For the base, I'm going to select the base here. I'm going to turn on roughness here, spec rough. And I'm just going to crank it so it's not so shiny. Okay. Like that. Cool. Like that. Very nice. Okay. I could choose one thing. If there's one thing I could choose, I could go over the dots and I could add layer. Let's call this extra rough. And I'm going to turn off everything except specular roughness. Right click, black mask, right click, add a fill. And then I'm going to get a grunge. Let's middle mouse button scroll in. And I get one of these grunge in here. And here is what we got. See what we got in there? And if we could glimpse at the side, you see that roughness. You know? Just like that. Pretty cool. Very nice. See that little roughness there? Beautiful. Really like it. All right, cool. Save your scene. And last but not least, we're gonna close these up. And here, we're gonna add another folder. I'm gonna call this plaster. And then we're gonna add. Okay, hold on. Right click, add a black mask. Black mask, add a. Let's see, properties here. Add a fill. And in the fill, I'm gonna go and get here, anchor, choose an anchor point. And then inside this folder, I'm gonna get something from over here. And it's right in front of me. It's called concrete. I'm just gonna take it, drag it, drop it in here. Okay. And see what we get. All right, I'm gonna just go closer to see if we get anything. And let's see if there's any difference. Not any difference really. If I go to mask, let's see what we got. Nothing. Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. I think maybe the plaster needs to be above the brick. Let's see. Press M on the keyboard. And maybe. Okay. Okay, well. Oh, I think I need to figure something out with the concrete. Maybe the concrete needs to be underneath. I think outside. Let's do the concrete outside here. Take it and put it the concrete here. Outside. It needs to be outside. I need to check this outside first. Concrete. Put. Okay. Turn off the brick. Concrete. Put that. Okay, maybe I need to do something here. So I do that. In here, I'm gonna just play around with the height, and I'm gonna crush it. Gonna really crush it. All right, really crush it. Yeah, so we got that in there. Plaster. All right, cool. What else? I'm gonna create a right click, create a black mass, and right click, create a fill. Oops. Oh my god. Okay. Oh yeah, that's fine. Create a fill, and then the fill, click here and choose the brick. So here we have it. It's working now. So now this, I'm gonna just do like a overlay. Let's see what we get. Oh, maybe, no, this is not overlay. So this is not, make sure you go back on the color. Then you could choose like a overlay or maybe a multiply, no. Screen, no. Normal, no. Or maybe drop the opacity, that's what we got. Yeah. So you got that. Got that brick. So this is supposed to be a bite-sized tutorial, so I think I'm gonna end there. All right. Okay, cool. So stay tuned for the other bite size. All right. Thank you. I'm gonna take all three of these, just press Ctrl G, and let's call this brick. Okay, cool. And thanks. Thank you for watching.